Hi, it's John here from Speedy Brick, and today I'm going to be building another one of Bento Bricks models. So he has built a few of these 15th, 16th scale or icon scale Formula One cars, and I built a couple of them already. We've got the Jordan and the Ferrari, and I really enjoyed building these. They're super good, fun to build, lots of details. And of course you've got all these little, because of the scale of them, you can add a lot of functionality into them as well. And we've got lots of nice little hidden details. So much bigger than a Speed Champion set, of course. Speed Champion sets are around 27th scale, and these are around 16th scale. I've also got a whole bunch of 8th scale models as well. Some of them are back here behind me. And they're super fun to build, but they take up a lot of space. Whereas these 16th scale models, and there's one there which is about 17th scale as well, and they look so good. They've got this extra functionality that you don't get in a Speed Champion set, and they take up a little bit less room in my display. So I'm super impressed with Bento Bricks, and luckily he's still designing. Like, he's coming up with some really amazing designs. And you might have seen some images online already of this one, because it's really an iconic vehicle. It is a Formula One car from 1976. And what makes it really special is it has 6 wheels. So it's got 2 back wheels and 4 front wheels. It's the Tyrrell P34 and the 34B, depending on which year you look at. But we're talking about really the 34 from 1976. I did a little bit of research to find out a little bit about the history of the car. It had a Ford Cosworth V8, 3-litre V8 in it. It had a 5-speed gearbox in 76, and then they converted it to a 6-speed gearbox in 77. Was 595 kilos in its original state, and they bulked it up a little bit to 620 kilos in 77, and I guess the gearbox would have had something to do with that. In 76 they had 13 Grand Prix. They got 2 fastest laps. They had 1 win, 1 pole position, 10 podiums, and 71 points, and they came 3rd in the World Constructors' Championship that year. The following year, the modified car, the 34B, or P34B, had 17 Grand Prix. They had 1 fastest lap, no wins, 4 podiums, 27 points, and they came 5th in the Construction Championship. So they weren't quite successful, as successful in the second year. And in the first year, we had Jody Scheckter was driving, and Patrick De La Pala, I'm not sure how you pronounce it actually, and then Jody was replaced by Ronnie Peterson in 77. So we've got kind of 3 drivers that drove the car, which is pretty cool. This is MOC number 229746. We've got all of our parts here, and there's a lot of parts. It's just over 800 pieces. We've also got something special. So we've got some 3D printed custom wheels that, obviously you could go with something like this little one for the front, which is what's in the original design. But when you see this compared to what's in this box that Alex and Matt have provided from MattsBrickMocs, you're going to be blown away. So we've got 2 different wheel sizes. We've got 4 small ones and 2 big ones. So the rear wheels are quite nice. We've got the Goodyear logo on the inside and the outside. We've got a straight X connection there, and in the front and in the inside it's all smooth, and that's exactly what it looked like in real life. So that's pretty cool. And for the front wheels, we've got 4 of these. We've got quite a unique look. So this is what you can get from Lego. It's obviously quite a bit smaller and totally different in design, obviously. And here we've got, it's printed. There's a bit of red in here as well. And it's a 3-spoke wheel, which is really pretty cool. And it's printed on the back as well. And what they've also done, which I think is really cool, is created these little disc brakes. So we've had these big ones before, but this is really cool, a small one with a little disc on it. So that's pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to using these. And Matt's also provided here a decal sheet, which looks really nice, and lots of nice little details. And of course the instructions on where to put everything. And we can also use a stand. Now I haven't got the parts for the stand at the moment, but I will be getting those extra parts and creating a stand for it as well to go in the collection. So I'm looking forward to building this. There's nothing much really else to say other than thank you very much to BentoBricks for sending me the instructions. Thanks to Matt and Alex for sending me these custom wheels and the decals, and let's get on with the build. This build is going really well, and I'm quite enjoying it so far. There's a nice mixture of Technic and system pieces, and it's really coming together quite nicely. I'm up to step 60 out of 235, so we're about a quarter of the way through the build. So it's progressing really well, and there's some nice little design tricks that have gone on here, especially kind of in this area here. He's really got some nice little details built in. We've got the exhaust built in already, and we've got our back axle in, and we've got the start of the engine, which is looking pretty good for our, I think it's going to be a working engine, which is, I think that's going to, there's some tricks in here. That's pretty cool. I've done a few swaps of color of pieces here, just because I guess, I didn't have these pieces in yellow, which were in the instructions, and this was orange. And I checked with Bento Brick, and he said that I could swap out some of the pieces without any problem. So I've done that, and I've gone through to make sure that anything I swap out, you won't see in the end. But I thought it was a good idea actually to just use the pieces I have, because I'm building MOCs all the time, and I thought it's, like this piece is a special piece, and I had two different colors, but they're going to be hidden later, so it doesn't matter. So I've just used what I've got. These pieces were supposed to be yellow, these pieces were supposed to be black, but they're going to be hidden, so it doesn't matter. This was going to be kind of an orange or red, I can't remember. And this was going to be grey. This was going to be white. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. So I think that's a good trick, is to use the pieces that you've got already when you're building MOCs, when you're designing stuff of your own, kind of build with what you've got first, and then if you need to swap out a color later on, you can do that later. But don't be shy to use some funky colors in a build, or just use dull colors in a build when you're not going to see it. It's a good way to use those parts, and it doesn't matter anyway. So all that said, let's get on and use some more of the parts that I've got stacked up here for this build, and let's see how we progress on to the next quarter of the build. This is progressing so well. I'm really enjoying it. It's so much fun. The details and the parts use in here is really very, very good. All sorts of fun little things, like little indications that these are suspension. We've got the great parts use. We've got here a telephone. There's lots of complexity in putting all this bit together. Really nicely done. And I like the use here. I've got some stickers applied already on the side, So we've got 3 stickers applied here, and I haven't put the large number in yet because I'm a bit worried that it's going to overlap the next piece. So I'll wait until I've finished this kind of whole side before I put in the stickers there. But there comes a sticker here and here, and this is really nicely done. Really, really clever, good fun building techniques, and lots going on. So it's really quite a fun experience. So let's get on with the next steps. Wow, this is just progressing so well. We're up to step 182. So I guess we're about 3/4 of the way through the build. And I really like this. There's so many nice little building techniques going on. I like what he's done here for the steering. So we've got a working steering for the 4 front wheels, so that's pretty cool. I like the way that Matt's done this little blue line and continuation of the blue line all the way through across these yellow pieces, even to the top of the tile here. So this is a 1x3 tile, and even on the top of the tile there's a decal. That's a kind of a nice continuation of that little blue line on both sides. We've got the number 3 on. Quite a nice building techniques being used, and so far I'm really enjoying it. So let's get on with the next steps, and I think in the next stage we'll complete the build. So let's get on with that. So that's the build complete, and I've got to say, this is so good. There's so many nice little details in this build. There's lots of nice good techniques as well, fun techniques to build. And if you like this scale of car, I've got to say this is actually very, very, very good. There's lots of nice techniques. There's great parts use. We've even got a working engine, so you can see when you're running the car across the ground that the engine is going up and down. We've got working steering. We've got a fantastic custom wheels from Alex that were provided by MattsBrickMocs, and disc brakes and these custom wheels, which really do look very good. They're wider than the kind of the Lego versions of these wheels that you get in the instructions. So if you just order the parts, you can order parts from Lego and use Lego wheels on back and front. That's no problem. But I do advise you to go for these custom wheels. They're really, really very good, as are the decals. And I've got to say, Matt from MattsBrickMocs has done a fantastic job with creating kind of this updated version of the decals. Now, you can print your own decals out, no problem. You can do that yourself. And Bento Brick gives you instructions on how to do, where to apply the stickers, but you don't get the level of stickers that you get in this pack. And I've got to say, all these little dots and stuff, all these little details, the stripe here, that all make a difference. And I've got to say, this really, really does look so good. We've even got little decals down here on this front wing. There's so many nice little details that you get, even like a decal on the back here with the number 3 on it. Great parts use. This engine, and so you can open it up and see the engine working. I think that's really cool. Great parts use here. Lots of fun building techniques. I've got to say, this is really so good. If I'm going to give this points out of, out of 10, it's going to be high 8s, 9, maybe even getting close to 10. There's so many nice little details on it, and maybe I'm getting a little bit over the top with my praise, but I really do think that this type of model deserves a lot of praise, because there's lots of nice building techniques. It's complex to build. There's lots of nice stuff in here, but but it's not so complex that you struggle or anything. There's no things where you think, oh, I've done it wrong, or that you have to take it apart again and put it back together again to get it to work properly. This works. Build it once, it works. So that's always nice. I often find myself struggling with some techniques, instructions, particularly from the last big 8 scale build. You just got to follow. You got to kind of guess on some of the instructions. Not with BentoBricks. It's all very simple to follow. His instructions are really good. So well worth it. And I think this is going to need a proper display to go with it. So I'm going to have to build the display and use the plaque for that and put it in my collection. But what do you guys think? Do you like this scale of models? Do you like what Bento Brick does with his builds? I'm certainly a big fan of his. But what do you guys think? Love to hear your comments. And until next time, bye.
Please click to subscribe for more videos and watch my build and review videos by clicking here. Thank you.